Conspiracy theorist Alex Jones has been ordered to pay nearly $1 billion to families of Sandy Hook school shooting victims. His Connecticut defamation case came to a close yesterday with a jury awarding damages to 8 families and an FBI agent who responded to the 2012 massacre. For years after the shooting that left 20 first graders and 6 teachers dead, Jones spread lies the shooting was a hoax. The families of the victims, as you can imagine, emotional in the courtroom while the verdict was read, some crying and hugging in relief. Jones already owes 2 Sandy Hook families more than $45 million in a separate lawsuit. Joining us now is Erica Lafferty. Her mother, Dawn Lafferty Hochspring, was the principal at Sandy Hook Elementary. She confronted the shooter and was killed shortly after he entered the school. Erica, thanks so much for being with us this morning. We really appreciate it. You were one of the family members awarded some money in this judgment here. What did it feel like to hear the news yesterday?
I think I'm still a little bit in shock. The way the jury so bravely listened to hours and days of testimony from my family and other families and Bill Aldenberg was nothing short of heroic. Them coming back with such a hard-hitting message that these hate, lies, conspiracy theories, and threats are not going to be tolerated is something that I am so deeply grateful to them for.
Well, you've been mourning your brave mother who stepped in and confronted the shooter that day. You've had to spend the last 10 years also fighting off, in many ways, these conspiracy theorists who pursue you and the other Sandy Hook families. You've had to move several times, as you've said. You've received threats. What has this last decade been like for you, in addition to the overwhelming grief you felt over your mother's death?
When the news of Sandy Hook initially broke and we were in the firehouse and I learned that my mom had been murdered, I had no idea what my life was going to turn into. I didn't know that I was going to be forced to grieve her murder on a national platform. But I never expected all of the hate and lies and threats that I've received. I feel like I have been swallowed whole by this. There has been no way to stop it, no way to ever know which direction it's going to come from. It's been absolutely terrifying.
Yeah, I was up there, Erica, that night to cover the story, and the next day standing outside that firehouse. And I remember that scene, and we just talked to Nicole Hockley in our last hour, whose son Dylan was murdered as well, and she had the same experience. She said, while I was waiting in that firehouse to learn the news about whether my 6-year-old had been murdered while he was in his first grade classroom, little did I know that Alex Jones was already up on the air calling this a hoax and a conspiracy and something that would chase her and you for a decade now. So what do you hope comes from this? As you've said before, there will be other Alex Joneses, but what do you hope this judgment of nearly $1 billion tells other people out there?
I think the message is very clear now that the truth absolutely matters. And for someone on such a platform or any platform to spread such bogus information, they're going to be held accountable, right? Like we are people who have experienced the worst kind of tragedy. There will be others. That is just the nature of the country that we live in. But my hope is that the message that was sent down is that there absolutely will be consequences for your actions, and you cannot lie and threaten and take away legacy without some kind of punishment and without being held accountable for your words.
Well, your mother's legacy is intact. The world knows what she did that day. She saved a lot of children. She protected their lives with her own. We're so grateful for you coming on and talking about this today. I know it's not easy, Erica, and I know the judgment doesn't bring you any comfort, but you're showing some of the bravery that your mother has shown in her life as well. Thank you for being with us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.